Video, I'm going to show you how to hand tint a photograph, how to composite two images together, and to use a smart filter. So I've got, I'm in Photoshop CS5, and I've got about 4 images here that I'm going to put together. And I'm going to start with my background image here of the beach, and my desktop is a little messy, so I'm going to go ahead and go to Workspace, and I'm going to go down to Reset Essentials. So that's going to push everything back to where it was. So from my background here, I'm going to have that pushed over to the side a little bit, and I am going to use my white background with my magic wand tool. So I'm going to go down to the magic wand tool. I'm going to reset the tolerance to 32, which is usually what it defaults to. I'm going to click in the background, and so what it's done is it's isolated that background. But I want her to be the subject of the selection, so I'm going to go to Select and Inverse, and so all of a sudden she is the only thing that's selected. Now I'm going to grab my Move tool and drag her over, and now she's inside the new image. So I'm going to go Command T, and that's the shortcut for transform, and I'm going to hold down Shift while dragging in the corner, and so I can make her a lot smaller. So I'm going to put her on the beach, and I'm going to proceed to put the, let's go ahead and put the cat on there next to her. So I'm going to use one of the tools that we used in class. I'm going to use the magnetic lasso tool, and the magnetic lasso tool should just find the edges of the cat. And it's a lot easier because I've got strong contrast in foreground and background, and that's why it's able to grab that. But you'll notice certain areas where it doesn't grab it as well, and we're going to have to go back over it, probably using Quick Mask. So making the selection, and it's finding the edges. Got a little crazy on the paw. Okay, so I double click and all of a sudden I've got my selection. I can see where it didn't work so well right in here and maybe down here on the claw. So if I go into quick mask mode, I can see where that selection, and if you'll know, quick mask mode is just down here at the bottom of my tools palette. So I'm going to zoom in so I can see this a little bit better. And what I'm going to want to do is edit it a little bit more using quick mask mode. So I'm going to grab my brush tool, make it a little bit smaller. And this is just my regular brush tool. I have black in the foreground there, so if I wanted to add to it, now my opacity is at 34, so we want to make sure that these are turned up so you have a really strong effect. And that's going to add to my selection. So what I want to do is I want to inverse my colors, and now I have white in the foreground, so now that's going to add to the cat right there. So my selection is expanding, and I can make sure I get all of him in there. I'm going to move down a little bit to make sure that I've got his claw in there as well. Go back to my brush tool. And that's going to take care of the cat pretty well. So I have this area here, but we'll use a layer mask once I'm in my other image to get rid of this area. So I'm going to toggle back to my selection using quick mask, grab my move tool up at the top, and click in the cat and drag him over. Okay, and like I said, I need to get rid of that blue, so I'm going to zoom in. And I'm going to grab my adjustment layer. There's a layer mask right here. Okay, so I've got my layer mask on the cat. I'm going to grab my brush tool, and I'm going to put black in the foreground because my mask starts out as white. And if you'll see, what it's doing is it's editing that inside here. So I could be really precise and I could go forward with it from here. I'm going to go ahead and stop this video and we'll start up in the next video.